Good evening from InvestSharp. This is Randy Smotone with your Monday, April 19th market update. On the economic front, wasn't really any market moving type data today. We had the leading indicators out, which is typically not a big market mover. A couple of small things out tomorrow that probably aren't going to be much impact either, so they're not really worth going over. IBM did report earnings after the close. They beat by 4 cents at $1.97 EPS on revenue of $22.9 billion. The estimate was for $1.93 on 22.75 billion. The margin was just okay. IBM's actually down about 2% in extended hours trading. So the dollar was up today, but it did close at its low of day. Gold, silver, copper, and oil were all down. Silver was actually just mostly flat. The light sweet crude futures were down another $1.54 today to settle at $83.13 a barrel. So if we look at the dollar, we have this trend line, which was broken with lots of selling of the dollar here, the UUP, the ETF. We are up into resistance. It got kind of rejected here and closed on low a day, and there's no buyers now in the dollar. Like we had all this buying here, so there's no buyers here. So commodities might still be a decent a trade, or investment right now. Gold, silver, etc. So keep an eye on those. Go over and look at the West Texas Intermediate Crude Point Figure Chart. We actually did print a sell signal today on crude. So we actually did print the 83 area here, put us on a sell signal by just one box. Sometimes just one box will turn and it's just a bear trap and go right back up. So we'll keep an eye on that. But if this follows through, now the new price objective is $78, which will put us right here at this uptrend line. Even though the big integrateds held up pretty well today, like ExxonMobil, CVX, they all held up well. Your oil services got beat up today, though, like your Halliburton, your SLB, your HAL, Schlumberger. They didn't hold up too great. So we are on a sell signal there. Let's take a look at the Dow. So the Dow closed up 73 points to 11,092. S&P closed up 5 points to 1,197, and the Nasdaq closed down 1 point to 2480, and the Russell closed down 3 points to 711. The Dow had the larger percent gain, up 0.67%, and the Russell had the largest percent loss at 0.45%. So I thought the day would look like they were going to sell it, and then there was some buying, but there was, I think, a lot of defensive type buying. They went for the big blue chips and the large caps in the Dow, the Dow 30s, buying some of those a little bit. They were buying insurance. We'll look at that when we go over the sectors. They're buying the insurance companies, which is usually defensive. So I thought it was a little confusing, and the stuff that let us higher than the Nasdaq and the Russell was kind of weak today. So kind of on the fence as far as if I'm bullish or bearish. I'm kind of neutral right now, even though we are still holding the trend line here on the Dow, which is bullish. So that, it looks fine. The charts certainly aren't broken here. S&P, same way. We're holding, this 1,190 area here, still above the channel. Nasdaq, again holding. So it's, chart still looks fine. And the Russell, typically a lot of this hammer type candlestick is often a bottom, and you'll reverse and go higher. So which may be the case. So we'll see if that's how that plays out or not. We may just chop sideways for a few more days. We have a lot of earnings coming out, so it's hard to say right now. So I'm kind of neutral. We did have actually another pretty high volume day across indices today, so there was a lot of volume. Let's look at the XLF. Whoop, wrong one. XLF, the financials, they broke down Friday. Now it's, I have to watch to see if they push back into this resistance area and if they stop there. So a lot of selling and then a lot of buying today. So kind of a mixed picture. Let's look at gold, GLD, still holding this support area right here of this downtrend line, and there was no heavy selling today like there was Friday. So gold is holding up pretty well. SLV, the silver ETF, another one holding up here at the 1725, still holding, no heavy selling there. And copper is holding the uptrend line here, and looks like it might be creating a new kind of a triangle, because here. So we'll see how that plays out. If you look at the VIX, volatility index, had that big, as the market was lower and bad Friday. Then now today it pulled back and we were down 5.56%, but we're still, holding right here on the trend line. The MACD's pointed back up. So again, kind of a mixed data there. Let's go over and look at the McClellan. So we are in the oversold area, but we're really not very oversold yet. Minus 37.7 on the McClellan oscillator. Really need to get more oversold. Will be more of down in this area here, minus 80, minus 60 or so, something like that. So we could definitely could have more downside, or we could turn and go back up. Again, not really showing its hand to us here. Let's look at the sectors. 8 of the 16 sectors we follow finished in the green today. The insurance index had the largest percent gain, up 1.09%. The semi index was the weakest, down 1.04%. So the banks were good. So that was pretty good. But healthcare, biotechs were weak. Transportation is a little bit weak. So again, it's kind of a mixed picture. Let's go look at the chart watch. So this MCore still looks really good. I like this kind of basing here, this triangle. It's holding up really well. So you buy it over a breakout of 26.56 with some volume. Asia, this one's still looking really good. You can buy it over today's high of about 29.50 with some volume. MDRX still in this bull flag I talked about. Most of these are off the watch list. I would probably wait for it to break out of this channel to the upside. Boom, still holding up really well. It's looking good after it broke out. ABC, another more watch list stuff. It's holding up really well. It still looks good. Not wanting to sell it off. WCRX holding that support here at where it broke out from the downtrend line. It's looking pretty good. A couple of the railroads, CSX holding up really well. Looks like it wants to turn and go higher if that's what the market does. GWR holding up really well. Another railroad's looking good. FLIR, FLIR, FLIR Systems holding up at around that 29, still looking good. They're not wanting to sell it off either. MLM, Martin Marietta, holding up really well. Market goes higher, I'm sure it will turn and go higher. Apollo Group, education, it's trying to break out right actually near the close, so it looks like it's about ready to break out, so keep an eye on that. And ABFS, Arkansas's best, nice breakout here of this ascending triangle with lots of volume today. Should see some higher prices, probably back at least up to that 33 level. Amazon was holding up well today. Shaw just peeking out, breaking out here, lots of volume here, so it looks like it's about to break out of this channel. It's looking pretty good. ACI, the Arch Coal's holding up really well. Lots of volume today, holding that 26 area. For some shorts, this Sienna, you could short it. If you can get in any strength here, you could short it probably into some strength. It looks pretty weak. Baker Hughes, looks like it's in resistance right here. Around that, up to that 48 level. Looks like it's possible resistance. Abercrombie and Fitch, it has some support here, but definitely a little bit of selling, and the MACD's turned lower. I think probably you could short it if any type of pop up into here, you could probably short it. And then TZA, which was the daily small cap 3 times. Lots of buy-in here, so definitely some protection going here. And like I said, small caps didn't fare as well today, but they're the ones that have had the biggest run, so you might consider long that possibly, depending on the market. And the ultra short crude oil, SCO, lots of buy-in here. If oil continues lower, you could go long this. All right. So let's take a look at the current market signals. And there's no change there. We haven't really been, moved anywhere. We had a little bit of pullback. We've taken part of it back today. So, so the Dow, Nasdaq, S&P, all the point figure here, still on a buy. Still price objectives are the same. No changes here. So there's really no need to look at them. So again, I'm kind of neutral right now. I'd like to, until we really take out the previous high or something, or it really, show some more bullishness here in the next day or two, then I'm kind of neutral. I'm really not a big buyer or seller here. And kind of wait and see. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching InvestSharp's daily market analysis.